with that, we wanted to bring back a friend to the show, Brian Hart, who has written about this, who certainly cares and loves Philadelphia. I know you love Philadelphia. You care about the security here. We're rooting for Philadelphia, that there are effective changes by not only university police, but Philadelphia police, who are certainly undermanned and outgunned. But Brian, good morning. Give us the latest on, first of all, let's start with Sergeant Fitzgerald and the charges ongoing and the latest on justice for the family and loved ones and children of Officer Sergeant Fitzgerald.
Well, Dawn, thanks so much for having me back. And like you said, it's back to school at Temple University. They've got a new academic year. They've got a new logo. I don't know if you saw that. They put that out this summer. They're clearly trying to move on from this past spring semester that was tragic, that was absolutely chaotic from a safety standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. If you look at all of their messaging, they are trying to put that behind them and move on. Now, the problem that you alluded to is we still have a grieving family and a police department that is so scarred by what took place last semester, that it's not going to be that easy for Temple to just brush this under the rug. And I know for a fact that family, the Fitzgerald family, they are pursuing justice. The murderer, he is jailed. He does have a trial coming up. I don't have the latest on that as far as any.
And I should say the accused killer. We have to say that. For legal reasons, Miles Pfeffer, who is charged with murder and is being held, he's currently in the Kern-Fromhold Correctional Facility without the opportunity for bail. So he's awaiting trial. So go ahead. I just had, for legal reasons, we always have to say you are innocent in our system of justice. You should be considered innocent until proven otherwise.
Absolutely. I'll put $1 in the jar next time I do that. So you've got that. Now, as far as we know, Miles Pfeffer is the only one who's been charged in relation to that. But we saw the Fitzgerald family take matters into their own hands by filing civil action versus the mother, her boyfriend, and then the father of the alleged murderer. So they are taking that. And I can tell you, if you listen to the messaging that came out around that lawsuit, that's not about money. That is about pursuing more evidence and more justice and making sure that all those who played a role, whatever role that might be, that led to that awful, awful situation, that they are held accountable. In America, there are really, three core areas of justice. There's criminal justice, there's civil justice, and then there's also justice of public opinion, exposing people who do bad things. Now, I come from a public relations background, so I'm very good at that. But those are three ways that you hold people accountable in this country. And right now, they're clearly the family is exploring all of those.
Yes. So I know that, they're filing suit against these parents. They want to make the parents accountable. And that's something that they feel that these parents, for example, they knew that he had mental health issues, that there were some other issues, and they've hired representation. They say that by allowing their teen son to possess those firearms, failing to properly secure the guns, because and I will say this as somebody who grew up in a pro-Second Amendment family, that is the number one rule, that of course you lock everything up properly, and you would never allow a kid or a visiting kid or anybody to have access to your firearms. That's proper. And as well, their ammunition. So they're alleging, the Fitzgerald family, as they grieve, alleging the Pfeffer's parents failed to take the necessary steps to prevent the situation. So I know that they're suing them. It's a Bucks County family. And they're saying that you as the parents, you must be accountable. And I believe in accountability. I also believe that even in these, and look, this is certainly a tragedy, but if you are not securing your firearm, and whether you know that your child does or does not have mental health issues or might do something crazy or stupid or violent, that's irrelevant. The bottom line is it's the law. You must lock those firearms up, and they are being accused of not doing so. So I know that they're suing the family.
Yep, absolutely.
And I don't see a monetary amount. And to your point, is there?
I can tell you the monetary amount. Yeah. So there were 4 people named in the suit. The mom, the boyfriend, the father, and then the alleged killer himself. Each one was $50,000. But again, that lawsuit's not about money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I know that Temple University had promised that, first of all, they paid for Sergeant Fitzgerald's funeral. They have promised free tuition for all of his children. And I know that the school's board of trustees pledged to donate more than $450,000 to a fund to help support the family. So I do know Temple had done that to their credit. You know, Brian, I think for a lot of people, as we look forward to the fall, to change the logo, it was kind of bizarre. It was kind of bizarre to me. I don't know, how long was that in the works to think, oh, let's just change the logo and that helps fix everything. It's a
right.
little.
And they did say they called it a secondary logo. But one thing that you can count on with Temple University, anytime there's bad headlines, you can guarantee they are going to crank out press releases to divert attention. That is their go-to move. Their PR team is so predictable at that school. I do, when I had some of my viral threads, when I was exposing some of the bombshells going on among leadership and with the safety issues, anytime I had something go viral, I knew within hours a press release was going to drop about something completely unrelated.
Yes, it's so true. What's your word to students who are moving back in? I know that you're a Temple alum, you love Temple and you love Philadelphia. Should students feel a sense of fear? I always say you should try to be aware and street smart no matter where you are, whether it's in a city, in a rural setting. You make yourself vulnerable when you wear your earbuds and they're cranked and you're not paying attention to your surroundings. But what's your word of advice, Brian?
Yeah, well, so this week you've got a lot of freshmen who are moving in for the first time. You've got a lot of returning students. One thing that retired Temple officers have told me is that during move-in week, you can always count on every officer to be working overtime, because when the parents are dropping off the students and helping them move in, they want to make sure there's a visible police presence for the parents to see. Now, as soon as the parents leave and that move-in process is over, that police presence recedes. So that in and of itself gives both parents and the students a false sense of security when they're moving back in. And that's a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So no, they do need to understand that the police force is understaffed at Temple. I saw a tweet just yesterday. I mean, retention of these officers is a massive problem for them. The Temple University Police Association, I saw them tweet out yesterday. They thanked one of their fellow officers for his 5 months of dedicated service. He was one of the March hires that went through the police academy, was there for 5 months, and now just took a job in Montgomery County. They could only retain this officer for 5 months. That's
what does that tell you?
That tells you a big story. And we have seen these high levels of turnover under Jennifer Griffin, who's the VP of Public Safety, during her entire, I guess she's been in that position for about a year. Over the past year, the turnover and the inability to recruit and retain officers has been a glaring problem. Now, she just went out and did a press tour talking about replacing cameras on campus. And I guess they just put out a new mobile safety app that students can sign up for. Listen, that's all great. That if that was icing on the cake, that's great. But the problem with Temple is it's always all icing and no cake. And that's a big problem that these students need to be aware of when it comes to safety.
Well, thank you for the update. We always appreciate you, Brian Hart. Thanks for joining me this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn.
Take care.